Welcome to part 14 of my video series on workshop techniques. This short video shows how I make clevises, or fork ends as I call them, for model steam engine rods. This fork end is for a valved rod on a model steam engine I'm currently restoring. The video shows the general method I use. Specific measurements are altered depending on the steam engine I'm working on. This is a piece of 1/2-inch square brass bar in the 4-jaw self-centering chuck being faced. Next, I turned the bar down to 0.275 inches for a length of 3/8 of an inch. This will form a boss that the valve rod will screw into. I then center drilled and drilled to a depth of 0.390 inches with a number 21 drill, which is tapping size for a 1032 threads per inch thread. This clip shows me tapping the whole 1032 threads per inch, first with a taper tap and then with a bottoming tap. Once the hole had been tapped, I shortened the boss to 0.175 inches. Making the boss longer to start with ensured I got a good thread on the inside. I could then trim the boss down to the desired size. I cleaned any burrs from the end of the threads using a deburring tool. Next, I parted the piece to length. The distance from the end of the boss to the end of the fork end needed to be 0.477 inches. I used a 1/8 inch parting tool for this operation to ensure rigidity as the tool was cutting. I then set the job up in the milling vise and milled the fork end to a thickness of 0.33 inches by removing 0.085 inches from each side of it. This clip shows me milling the slot in the fork end. I used thin parallels in the milling vise to hold the fork end level and created a slot that was 0.175 inches wide by 0.392 inches deep. I set the fork end on its side and set up to drill the holes for the pin. This clip shows me center drilling the position of the holes. I then drilled the fork end through both lobes with a number 36 drill. This is tapping size for 632 threads per inch. Next, I drilled the upper lobe of the fork end with a number 12 drill. This is clearance size for the pin that holds the eccentric rod to the fork end. This clip shows me tapping the lower hole with a 632 threads per inch tap. The drilling sequence I used allowed me to put the tap through the upper lobe that has the clearance hole for the pin. I then test fit the pin into the fork end. The fit of the pin was as expected. The next step was to shape the end of the clevis. I started this process on the belt sander to get a rough shape. This clip shows me shaping the end of the clevis. This clip shows me finishing the shaping process on the Scotch-Brite wheel. This photo shows the finished fork end in comparison to the original. I was quite satisfied with the result. So, that's making a fork end for a steam engine valve rod complete. I hope you can use the techniques shown in your model engineering projects. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. Thank you.